Hey guys, time for new comics. As far as my pickup list goes, I will say this week was fairly good, so let's start with the 4 titles I pick up on Wednesday. First off, Batman Eternal number 25. The last 2 issues of this title were pretty straightforward, with issue 23 centering on the fight with the Architect and the reveal of Hush as the series' big bad, and issue 24 focusing on Stephanie and her showdown with her father. Issue 25 goes back to cover several plot points, and writer James Tynion IV manages to deliver a very sound script, with the highlight being Red Robin assuming a leader position in the Bat family during Bruce's absence, which I really like and tells you that Tynion gets Tim's character as a guy who's fairly good at strategy while also being a good friend to rely on. The art, on the other hand, is a pretty mixed bag. R.M. Guerra delivers some decent action here and there, but his facial expressions are just awful to look at, and Jason Todd looks downright unrecognizable. The show was fairly solidly written, and it does a great job on setting the stage for the imminent fall of the martial law on Gotham. It's a shame that it had to deal with this art, though. I give this a 3 out of 5. Next up is AllNew Ghost Rider number 7. This is the second issue in the Legend storyline and is really starting to dip into dark territory. The first page alone has nightmare-inducing imagery. And I know that some people, myself included, have criticized Diamond Scott for not being able to deliver at the same level Trad Moore, but seriously, his creature design is just insane. Ridiculous and menacing are don't go well together usually, but Scott pulls it off, and the result is really terrifying, if not a bit too chaotic. In fact, there is a page later on which is almost unreadable panel-wise. However, this is not the creepiest part. This issue really highlights the concept of doing wrong things for the right reasons, and how the balance of that idea can affect someone. We've seen Robbie doing fairly unethical things for the sake of his brother. I mean, street racing isn't exactly Boy Scout fare, but he has always managed to keep himself away from doing something too extreme. Well, Robbie's spirit partner Eli has other plans. He clearly shows himself as a manipulator, bent on convincing Robbie into accepting his end justify the means view, not caring about any collateral damage. And the end result is a really hard-hitting last third when you feel the tension between these two partners just exploding in your face, art-wise and writing-wise. All in all, very strong issue, perfect relationship development, and I can't wait to see a follow-up from the last page. I gave this a solid 4 out of 5. Star number 3. I was a bit bored about this issue, focusing too much in the past relationship between Aurora and Forge. Thankfully, the real focus was Storm's past history with Kenya as a whole, and there was a few surprises regarding that. One thing I would like to highlight here is the art. Aurora is not exactly an easy character to balance art-wise. Depending on situations, she can look like a regular human being, or she can look like a full-blown supernatural being. And most artists tend to commit to one of these two possibilities, but without any balance between them. That criticism falls apart for this title. Scott Hepburn and David Balleon do a fantastic job at depicting Aurora as both powerful and but human at the same time, even when she's summoning a thunderstorm. As for the story, it doesn't carry much from the previous issue, and as a matter of fact, you could read it without you could read this as a one shot of its own. But the depiction of Aurora's personality is what gives it weight. She comes across as smart yet not cold, and outspoken but not impolite or loud. And I would recommend this issue as an introduction to the book or the character itself. It's a pleasant read, yet not an exactly urgent one. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. And finally, New Warriors number 10, entering the final reel of the series, which will end on issue 12. Holy crap, the pacing is fast here. It reminds me of the final reel of Avengers Undercover, but without the heavy characterization. New Warriors has a very likable cast, but it doesn't do much with them, and the entire issue is action-oriented, which is normal for a final reel, but the story doesn't come in until halfway through. It's messy as hell, but entertaining nonetheless. It's a fun mess. It's likable, and there's never a dull moment in between, or even an unlikable development, even if that means that the story will go into cliché territory. The only sense of consistency comes from the art courtesy of Marcus Daw, otherwise known as the guy who turned Teen Rank into a ridiculously good-looking by shonen in the Red Robin solo. In the case of New Warriors, Toe's anime-esque the character design really works here, and there's some very eye-popping action scenes. He just adds the sense of the fun of this book. A bit of a mixed bag issue that pretty much summarizes the highs and lows of this title, but a fun ride nonetheless. I gave this issue a 3 out of 5. And that will be all for this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little review, and in case you want to give your own opinions on these comics, leave your comments below. I will see you all next week as we dip into the first comics with October, which brings us to